The Magic Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. Chapter 17. Rick Gets Into Trouble. When Joe and the others heard the angry voice behind them, they turned in surprise. Nobody but Rick knew what the angry little man was talking about. "Knocker?" said Joe in amazement. "What knocker? We haven't got your knocker." "That bad boy is eating my knocker," cried the man, and he pointed to Rick. "I had a beautiful one made of lovely peppermint, and now that boy has nearly eaten it all up." They all stared at Rick. He went very, very red. Oh, what was left of the knocker was now in his mouth. "Did you really take his peppermint knocker?" said Joe, glaring at Rick. "Whatever were you thinking of, Rick?" I just never thought," said Rick, swallowing the rest of the knocker in a hurry. I saw it there on the door and it looked so nice and I'm very sorry." "Oh, well, that's all very well," said the angry man. "But being sorry won't bring back my knocker. You're a bad boy. You come and sit in my house till the others are ready to go. I won't have you going about in our land eating knockers and chimneys and windowsills." "You better go, Rick," said Joe. "We'll call for you when we're ready to go home. We won't be long now. Anyway, you've eaten quite enough." So poor Rick had to go into the house with the angry little man, who made him sit on a stool and keep still. The others wandered off again. "Now, look, we mustn't be here much longer," said Moonface. "It's almost time for this land to move on. Look, strawberries and cream." The children stared at the strawberries and cream. They had never seen such a strange sight before. The strawberries grew by the 100 on strawberry plants, but each strawberry had its own big blob of cream growing on it, ready to be eaten. "Wow, they've even got sugar on them," said Joe, picking one. "Look, my strawberry is powdered with white sugar and the cream is delicious." They enjoyed the strawberries and cream, and then Joe had a good idea. "I know. What about taking back some of these lovely goodies? What's his name would love a plum pie, and the angry pixie would like some of those ice cream flowers, I think, and Dame Washalot, well, she would love some of these strawberries." "Oh, yes, and Mother would like lots of things too," said Beth happily. So they began collecting puddings and pies and cakes. It was fun. The cherry pie had so many cherries that they dripped all down Moonface's leg. "Oh, well, you'll have to take a bath, Moonface," said Silky. "You're very sticky now." They nearly forgot to call for poor Rick as they passed the house whose knocker he'd eaten, but he banged loudly on the window, and they all stopped. "Oh, gosh! We nearly forgot about Rick," said Beth. Rick, come on, we're going." Rick came running out of the house. The little man called after him, "Now don't you eat anybody's knocker again." "Oh, goodness. What? Wow. Why have you got all these things?" asked Rick in surprise, looking at the puddings, pies and cakes. "Are they for our supper?" "Rick! How can you think of supper after eating so much food?" cried Joe. "Well, I'm sure I couldn't even eat a piece of chocolate before tomorrow morning. No, these things are for What's-His-Name and Dame Washalot, Angry Pixie and Mother. Come on. Just come on. Moonface says this land's soon going to be on the move." They all went to the hole that led down through the cloud, and it didn't take long to climb down the ladder and onto the big branch outside Moonface's house. Rick came last, and he suddenly missed his footing and fell right down the ladder on top of the others below. He knocked the puddings, pies and cakes out of their hands. Down went all the goodies, bumping branch to branch. The children and the others stared in dismay. Then there came a very angry yell from below. Oh! Who's thrown down a cherry pie? Wait till I get them. I've got cherries and syrup all over me. Oh, it's burst on my head. Oh. And then there came an angry shout from lower down. Plum pie? Oh, in my wash tub. Oh, hot dogs in my wash tub. Oh, peppermints have gone down my neck. Oh, you rascal. rascals up there. Oh, I'm coming after you. Yes, I am. And from still lower down, the voice of the angry pixie, and a very angry pixie indeed. Ice cream on my nose. Ice cream down my neck. Ice cream in my pockets. What's next? Oh, who's doing all of this? Wait till I come up and tell them what I think. The children listened, half frightened and then half, well, a bit amused and thinking it was a bit funny, and they began to giggle. Plum pie in Dame Washalot's tub. Oh, don't. Ice cream on the angry pixie's nose. Look out. Oh, no. Oh, no. I believe they really are coming up, said Joe in alarm. Look, isn't that what's-his-name? And they all peered down the tree. Yes, it was what's-his-name climbing up, looking very angry. The saucepan man leaned over a bit too far and nearly fell. Rick caught him just in time, but one of his kettles came loose and fell down. It bounced from the branch to branch, and where do you think it landed? What do you think it did? Yep, it landed on poor old what's-his-name's big head. He gave a tremendous yell. What? Oh, is it you, Saucepan, throwing all these things down the tree? Oh, dear. Well, what you want is a good scolding, and you'll get it. Anybody else up there playing tricks will get a fine scolding too. A scolding, said Dame Washalot's voice. A scolding, roared the angry pixie from not far behind. Oh, gosh, said Joe in alarm. It looks as if the land of scoldings is about to arrive up here. I vote we go home. You'd better shut your door, Moonface, and you and Silky and Saucepan had better lie down on the sofa and just pretend to be asleep. Maybe the sofa and the bed. Pretend to be asleep. And then maybe those angry pixies will think it's somebody up in the land of goodies that's been throwing all these things down. Oh, Rick ought to stay up there and get the scoldings, said Moonface gloomily. First he goes and eats somebody's door knocker and gets into trouble. Then he falls on top of us all and sends all the goodies down the tree.
Well, I'm going to go down the slippery slip with the children,
said Silky, who was afraid of Mr. What's-his-name when he was in a temper.
I can climb up to my house and lock myself in before all those angry pixies and people and everything come down again. Oh, Saucepan, why don't you come too?
Saucepan thought that he would. So the children, Silky and Saucepan, all slid down the slippery slip, just in time too, for Mr. What's-his-name came shouting at Moonface's door as Joe, who was last, slid down. Moonface had shut his door. He was lying on the bed, pretending to be asleep. What's-his-name banged hard on the door. Moonface didn't answer. What's-his-name peeped in at the window. Moonface! Wake up, I say! What's the matter? Said Moonface in a sleepy voice, sitting up and rubbing his eyes. Dame Washalot, the angry pixie, came up too. The angry pixie had ice cream all over him, and what's-his-name had cherry pie all down him. They were all very angry. They opened Moonface's door and went in. Who was it that threw all these things down on us? Asked what's-his-name. Where's Saucepan? Did he throw that kettle? I'm going to scold him. Oh, whatever are you talking about? Asked Moonface, pretending not to know. Oh, goodness, how sticky you are, what's-his-name. And so are you, yelled what's-his-name suddenly, seeing cherry syrup shining all down Moonface's legs. It was you who threw the pudding down on me. My, oh my, I'll give you such a scolding. Then all three of them went for poor Moonface, who got a terrible scolding. He rolled over to the slippery slip and slid down at in fright. He shot out of the trapdoor just in time to see Silky and Saucepan saying goodbye to the children. They were very surprised when Moonface shot out. I've just had a scolding, wept Moonface. They all scolded me because I was sticky, so they thought I'd thrown the goodies all at them, and now I'm afraid to go back because they will be waiting for me. Oh, poor Moonface, said Joe, and it was all Rick's fault. Listen, Silky can climb back to her house, but you and Saucepan had better come back with us and stay the night. Rick and I will sleep downstairs on the sofa, and you can have our beds. Mother won't mind. Oh, are you sure? Oh, All right, said Moonface, wiping his eyes. Maybe that will be fun. Oh, what a pity we wasted all those lovely goodies. I really do think that Rick is a very clumsy boy. And they all went home together. And poor Rick didn't say a word. But he did wish that he could make up for everything he'd done. And that is the end of that chapter. Oh, goodness. Rick is a little bit of a liability, isn't he? Every time he goes somewhere, he seems to be getting them into trouble. Do you think they should let him come to any more lands? Or do you think they should leave him at home? And what do you think their mother's going to say when they get back all covered in all the goodies and they've got Saucepan Man and Moonface with them? Do you think Silky will be okay in the tree? Well, okay, we'll find out what happens in the next chapter. I wonder if they'll go back to any more lands. What do you think the next land will be? What would you like it to be? And do you think Rick should be allowed to go if it's a lovely one? Well, have a little think and we'll find out in tomorrow's chapter. Bye-bye.